Hello, in this recording, we're going to do a demo of how to build an off-cycle process using a compensation section in a performance form in SuccessFactors. So to do so, let's jump right into a demo. I'm logged in here as Alison Mahoney, who's a manager in this environment, and I am in her performance inbox, where we're going to create a new form using a template that I prepared for this demo called 2022 Off-Cycle Increase, which has compensation information in it. So if I click as Allison here on Forms, I can see the list of all of my team members, and I can create a worksheet for a performance form for Pamela, and then define the dates, and then click Create and Open. And that will give me a performance form. It looks like a performance form. We can see the route map, and we can see this section here called technically a composition section, and we'll look at the details of how to build this in the later parts of this recording. So I named this section with the specific instructions for the person who's trying to give an off-cycle increase. So we can see here, go to edit if you want to change the values that are showing here. And when you click on edit, what it basically does is it pulls up a composition worksheet from the composition module that was created at the same time than you created the performance form. So this performance form that we see here, when we launched it through that button, create new form, automatically it created a compensation worksheet with just that one employee in the compensation worksheet. We can define, we use the field-based permission that are built inside the compensation module and the template admin center to define which columns were visible. And I even added some some specific hard validations here, so that in order to save, you have to include a reason as the person proposing the increase. So for example, let's do an example. So if we do 3%, and then we have to select a reason, otherwise it won't let us save. So we get this message, you must select a valid reason to be able to save. So here we select between the different reasons here. So let's do the first one, extraordinary performance. And then we can save, and automatically, as soon as we hit the save button, you can see the performance form in the background in my main browser. Not the pop-up gets refreshed. And so even if we don't close the pop-up, we get the refresh with the proposed off-cycle increase. So the two templates are completely linked through the code, and they fully interact with each other. So let's come back to the pop-up. We can now save it and close it. Let's do maybe another example on here lump sum, and we can save and close. It closes the pop-up, and then it refreshes the performance form, and now we can see the 300 pounds here. What is great about using this integration between performance and compensation is that you can do something that the compensation module doesn't allow you to do, which is having specific roles that are tied to the employee validate the increase. So let me provide a little bit more information on this. So the compensation module usually is used for year-end increase salary review cycles and bonus calculation, and it's a manager-centric module. So it's used once a year. It's manager-centric. So we often get the request in workshops, can we have in the second step of the approval for workflow the HR of the employee that is being reviewed in the worksheet to approve? And the answer is complicated because we need to use specific feature because it's a manager-centric module. So everything starts from the manager and goes to the HR of the manager or the manager of the manager. Here, we're able to send the worksheet, this particular form, because we're using performance, which is not a manager-centric module. It's down to the employee level. We can send it to each employee's actual HR, which the compensation module wouldn't let us do in a regular route map. So in the second step, I can send to the HR of Pamela as defined in job information, job relationship. And then have the HR validate, and then I can even have a signature of the employee here in step 4 before he goes to complete it. If the environment is integrated with Employee Central, if the composition worksheet, sorry, is integrated with Employee Central, you can then, as a system administrator, use the mass publish to Employee Central or to MDF objects to send the data in a couple of clicks back to Employee Central. So I would say that the leading practice to handle off-cycle increases is definitely if Employee Central is enabled in an environment, is definitely handling it through Employee Central and the approval workflows that are native to Central in the Comp Info portlet. But this is a great workaround. This is a workaround, especially for customers that don't have Employee Central, that enables managers to initiate the off-cycle increases. It is just a little bit confusing sometimes because you have to initiate it from the performance inbox and instead of compensation, but it does great things like we just saw. And not a lot of customers and implementation partners know about this specific feature, but it's been out there for a long time, ever since the beginning of the compensation module and performance integrations, actually. And so now that the demo is finalized, I'd like to show you how it's built. So what's a little bit difficult about building it is that you need to have a performance form that you edit through XML because it's not available for edits from the admin center. So if we go to the performance admin center, if we go to manage templates, and we click on the template that I created here, so this one, 2022 off-cycle increase, and we click on the section that I added, which is technically called the compensation section. We can see that it's not you can't edit it from Manage Templates tool. So you have to edit it from the XML, which means that first you have to export the XML of your compensation of your performance template from form template settings as an administrator, and look for the right template. So here would be this one. And then once you have it here, you click on download form template and you open it. I actually have it open already on here, so I'll pull it here. And so it's basically this section here in the performance form, compensation section, but you have to do all the changes in the XML. And making changes in the XML, the drawback is that as a customer, you can't re-upload it yourself. You have to go through someone who has certifications on one of the modules that will be able to upload the XML from provisioning. But you can download the XML and then see if the section is configured or not. So here, these fields that we see here, they reference the ID of the column on the compensation worksheet that we're tying to this performance template, and this is the ID of the compensation worksheet. So the ID of the compensation worksheet, you can find it through of the template. You can find it through a report, an ad hoc report, or if you have provisioning access, you can find it really quickly from provisioning by going to provisioning form template administration, and then you'll see the ID of the compensation worksheet that you want to reference here. What else? I'm trying to think of anything else. So the compensation worksheet, it can be any worksheet. You can also, as we saw, you can define all of the features you can use usually on a compensation worksheet will work. There's no limitation that I'm aware of. Usually what's good is to create a compensation work template that has a very simple approval workflow. So for example, here, I think I created a comp admin only route map. Yes, comp admin only. So my route map here is just going to comp admin, but but it goes to comp admin when we create the performance form, but it's still visible from when you click on the edit from the performance form. So it's still visible as we saw in the demo. I think that's pretty much it. That concludes the demo. I've seen customer use this feature for COVID tracking during the pandemic. I've seen it used in many different ways over the years, but I think the idea at the beginning when this feature was created was to be used for off-cycle increases, so which is why I did the demo based on that. I'll try to put the XML in the blog, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.